USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
As last week ended, President Trump was saying he was hoping the country would be reopened for business despite the coronavirus pandemic by Easter Sunday, April 12th. However, yesterday he announced he's extending social distancing guidelines as a result of the virus for several more weeks.
We will be extending our guidelines to April 30th. To slow the spread.
New York City's mayor calling it a last resort. Bill de Blasio saying he has authorized police to issue $500 tickets to people who violate social distancing rules amid the coronavirus pandemic. Pope Francis calling for a temporary worldwide ceasefire. He called for the global halt to hostilities yesterday, saying countries need to protect their people from the coronavirus pandemic. And this is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I think I've turned a corner in not having so much fatigue. That was my initial problem, was I was just tired all the time. So I think it's helping me with that. I think it's a whole lot better as a supplement than a lot of other products. Basically, you heal from the cellular level up. That's why nutrition is so important. Having whole foods is very important for health. I really think that it's been helping me overall.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code USA.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson declaring a disaster in the city of Jonesboro after a Saturday tornado touched down there. The National Weather Service says that it was an EF3 tornado. It did serious damage to downtown Jonesboro, but only a few minor injuries were reported. An EF1 touchdown in nearby Greene County. Checks from the recently passed coronavirus economic stimulus bill should be arriving in American bank accounts and mailboxes within the next 3 to 4 weeks, according to Treasury Chief Steven Mnuchin. A family of 4 could get up to $3,400, while an individual taxpayer would receive around $1,200. On this day in history, President Ronald Reagan was shot and wounded after a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel. John Hinckley Jr. later disclosed that he was motivated by wanting to impress actress Jodie Foster. This is USA Radio News.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. This is HIP Radio Network, Georgetown, your hometown station.
Georgetown forecast from the HIP Radio Network Weather Center. Isolated thunderstorms likely today, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 70, easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for isolated thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 55, mainly clear skies and quiet. Daytime highs approaching 74 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hip and Ken Covington.
All right. Here we go. It is a beautiful, boy, it's a chilly day outside, George. I don't know if you've had a chance to go outside yet, but my goodness, it is a little bit cold this morning. Waking up about 48 degrees outside. I don't want to steal the heat, though, because we need some heat this morning, and I don't want to steal the heat from our guest, our co-host, the namesake of this show, who's in the house this morning. I got to get him unmuted here. Mr. Ken Covington, what's going on, my friend? All the way live from Georgetown, Texas, via remote, baby.
I think we're about a mile. No, we're probably 2 miles apart.
It's 2 miles apart, but a friendship that's just so close, Ken.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
how you
goodness.
doing? How you doing this morning, brother?
Not bad, not bad. I've had 1 cup of coffee, and I might have to go get another cup here in just a little bit.
Well, man, I'm excited. Anytime that Ken Covington's here, of course. There's a lot of folks that may be joining us for the first time. Facebook's got a whole new thing now with their live video service, and I don't like it because I can't see who is. I can tell the number of viewers, Ken, that are on the show, but I cannot see who it is unless they comment for the most part.
Yeah.
So what I do is I pull it up on my phone next to me. But I don't know why it does that, man. The old Facebook, every time somebody would join the live stream, it would have their name, and I would give everybody a shout-out. So if I was just going on the Facebook live stream that I'm streaming to right now, William Furjan is the only one that I see because he said good morning. Now, if I go to my phone, I can say good morning to Martin Davis, good morning to Monica Ann, good morning to Robert Hall, who we're going to have on the show here at the 8 a.m. hour. And there's still 9 other people, but I can't see them. So it's just I just can't be very personable, Ken, this morning.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? What's going on in your neck of the woods, my friend?
Well, let's see. This would be day 8 of the store being closed. And I applied for a small business. I always want to say Small Business Academy, but the SBA loan. The government's giving out SBA loans for small businesses. So I sent off my application for that the other day. So hopefully I'll get a little bit of grant money or whatever to help keep me open.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we're praying. We're praying for you and all the businesses that are affected by this. It's been tough for a lot of folks, as you can imagine, and as you know firsthand, and as those out there watching and listening this morning can imagine. But the Small Business Administration, that's right, man. And
administration, yeah.
The whole thing with that loan, it's what is it, like a no interest or a low interest loan? Is that how it works?
I heard it's a low interest, very low interest loan. So
I'm looking at that. We may end up having to apply for that at SHN because the sports world is completely dried up.
Yes. It's like. And I was kind of because this is April Fool's. I was going to kind of joke around and tell you to give the sports news, but
I think, I was worried about a lot of people today joking about the coronavirus, but we can, that's an okay joke saying, hey, we
gotta, you kind of got to joke a little bit. You can't go overboard with it because it is serious. I mean, it's like I heard you say the other day. I was listening to you, or maybe you. I was listening to your show the other day with you or somebody else, and you were talking about how you didn't take this as serious, and I didn't either. You didn't take it as serious at first as it is, and it's, guy. You look at what's going on in France and Italy and Spain. I think mainly Italy right now is, man, they've lost 100,000 people. I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, it's been pretty serious, of course, and we're getting through it though. We're doing our part here and just doing a little social distancing. I'm just worried that after all this is over, Ken, are people still going to social distance from each other?
I know. I went into where did I go yesterday? I went to the post office to mail my application off, and man, it's like several people were in masks. And, I don't know. I don't go that far yet. But a lot of people were wearing masks, and you kind of get looked at. It's funny how everybody looks at each other. Like, do you have a germ?
Well, so you were wearing a mask yesterday.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Yeah. Okay. You said you weren't. Okay.
No, but I was keeping, everybody's keeping their distance. That's for sure.
Well, man, it's, people are being careful. I haven't ventured out of the house at all except yesterday. I finally went out yesterday evening because I had to shoot some video for the promotion that we're putting together for our auction drive that we're helping small businesses. And by the way, if you're joining us this morning, good morning to you. We've got quite a few listeners on our HRN app, of course, and a lot of folks here on Facebook Live now. But if you're joining us this morning and you're a small business who needs help, you may be in a situation like Ken, or may be a situation like us, or many others out there that need help. And look, if you need help, we want to hear from you. And all you've got to do is go to our website at hrngeorgetown.com/support. If you're a business that needs help, hrngeorgetown.com/support, and fill out your needs. Let us know what your needs are so we can get information to you. And also, if you fill out that form and you're in need of financial assistance, we are holding an auction in mid-April, and that auction, the proceeds from that auction will benefit those on that form who say that they need financial assistance. That's the only way that we know that you need help. And today, I think we've had about 13 people fill out that form, but only about 3 of them have said that they need financial help. So far, those 3 are the only ones that are going to benefit from the financial part. We've raised over $4,000 in items for this auction. And so if you're an individual, if you're a business that says, look, I'm hurting, I need to receive something, but I also want to give something back, then we've got an option for you as well there to where you can donate items and receive some of those funds. So I'm going to post that on the Facebook live stream this morning. It is hrngeorgetown.com/support if you are a business in need. And if you are someone who is able to donate an item to the online auction that's going to take place in mid-April, you just go to hrngeorgetown.com/auction. And so that's how that we do all that and take care of things. As this morning, of course, we're talking to Ken Covington, who is here with us. Ken's out walking around this morning trying to get everything situated, man.
Locking my door that way nobody will walk in because it kind of looked funny, Jordan walked in or something.
It's like
he was up till, oh my goodness, that boy, when you're 12 years old, you don't pay attention to time too much. He likes playing Fortnite with all his buddies. And I woke up around 2:30 and he was still awake. I told him to go to bed at 1.
How's he handling the whole, having to stay at home and all that, man? Has it been tough for him? He's
kind of a homebody kid. It's kind of funny. He's not like if I go say, let's go to the park and play basketball or something, he doesn't want to get out. So he's watching the news. We watch the news every now and then. He's aware of what's going on, but he feels pretty secure here at home. So
what's the,
as long as I bring him food, he's happy.
Well, that's good. And he's having to do school from home and everything right now, correct? That's how.
Yeah, we really haven't. They started that just this week. So
I'm curious, how does that work? What all are they having to do, Ken?
I don't know. It's going to be by video conferencing, kind of like what we're doing, I think. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work.
And they gave him, I guess, Chromebooks and things like that for the kids to use. Did he get one of those? I'm still trying to figure out kind of how all that's working.
Yeah, I'd say I really don't know exactly how it's going to work. I know he's got some books at school that we have to go get still. But gosh, I don't know how it's working just yet.
Yeah, it's been a tough situation for, a lot of families too, trying to adjust. And then of course, if they're smaller kids, lucky for you, he's a teenager now, right? Is Jordan 13
he's
now?
12.
He's 12. So he's getting, but luckily for you, he doesn't of course need babysitting. And there's a lot of parents though that have little kids that need babysitting and they don't have that right now.
Right, exactly. That's another thing.
So it's been a tough situation. Ken, I woke up this morning and it was cold outside. Do you have a weather update for us?
It's going to be, if you liked yesterday, you're going to love today. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. Let's see the winds. Now the winds are a little bit different. They're going to be more out of the south, southwest, southeast. No chance of rain. High of 76 degrees this morning or today. So it's not bad. It's going to be very pleasant. It's going to be a little bit warmer than yesterday. I think we had a high of 74 yesterday and we're having a high of 76 today. So
yeah, yesterday was beautiful.
Yeah, and then on Thursday morning, tomorrow morning is gonna be a low of 59, so not as cold as it was this morning. But
that's the official update from Ken Covington, Ken's Guitars. Appreciate you, man. And so I just wanted to ask you. I know that you've worked on that SBA emergency fund that they're putting out. Of course, those will have to be paid back eventually, and so that's the only downfall to it. It's almost like you wish that there was just some money there that you didn't have to worry about. Like I said, I'm going to apply to that probably for SHN. But Ken, is there any end in sight? As far as, and I don't know if I've lost you or not. Are you still? Yeah, there you are. Is there any end? Have you heard anything as a small business, especially down on the square? Have you received any information from anyone regarding any of this, Ken? Did you hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up. Let's see.
Can you hear me okay? Am I coming through okay now, Ken?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I was asking, as you as a business owner, have you received any information from anyone, regarding kind of when this may let up, when you can open your doors again?
Gosh, I haven't. They're talking they're talking social distancing now till end of April. I got a feeling I might be closed till. Of course, that's the President Trump's saying that. So I don't know about the governor. I think it's up to each county, isn't it? Or our governor is leaving it up to each county, and to decide whether, because he didn't want to shut down the whole state, because there's a lot of counties that didn't have any cases at all.
Yeah.
So.
And that's still kind of the case, but the social distancing, has been the important thing. And I haven't received. I did want to give a shout out. I've received, of course, some information from Williamson County and City's Health District. We're on their press release, so we get that information. I've received a little bit of information from the City of Georgetown. I've received a lot of information from the WCCHD, which is the Williamson County Cities and Health District. I wanted to give a special shout out as well to Kevin Pitts, who is keeping me updated. I'm not even in the city limits. I'm kind of in a weird area here in Santa Loma outside of Ken, because we're not in the city limits. We're an area that's probably never going to be incorporated. We're a bubble inside the city limits here, just because, and they're not going to, there's no infrastructure here for bringing septic. And so I don't ever see them bringing us into the actual city limits. We're right we're in the middle of it. But Kevin is the councilman represented over in Berry Creek in that area as well. And, he's been sending me updated information, which I really appreciate. He's been sending me emails on different loan packages and just keeping me up to date. And so I appreciate him doing that. That's really outside of that, a little bit from the city, and then the information that we're thankful to receive from the WCCHD. We really haven't received anything else.
Yeah. I got a feeling I'm going to be shut down to the end of April, or everybody will be, not just me, of course. but I've got a feeling this is going to go till the end of April.
And you've talked to I think your landlord was kind of giving you guys a little bit of a break with half rent instead of full rent.
They sent out an email last week or the week before saying that that they were giving all the businesses I guess it went out to most all of them, that we get a half month rent off. That's quite a bit for me.
Yeah, that helps for sure, especially being downtown. Yeah. Well, Ken Covington, Ken's our co-host this morning. Appreciate it. This is the first time we've did it remotely, Ken, you and I. You're right next to me in studio, so I miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we can still chat, face to face like this. This is
pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, today, Ken, we'll start talking a little bit about what's going on today. Today, of course, April Fool's Day. It's been a day when practical jokes and tricks are played on the unaware. I've always had fun with April Fools, but, this year I just don't feel like being in the April Fool's moment.
Yeah.
It's a time, children always convince their parents that they've broken a bone, or parents get in on the planning too. What are some classic April Fools? Do you have any April Fool's jokes that you've done, Ken?
When I lived in Denver, I had one done. I think the best joke I've ever had over the phone. This is before you had caller ID, and this was back in the 80s. When I lived in Denver, I don't know if it was a girl from church where I was going or what. It was some female. She called my home. I lived in an apartment at the time. And she said, now this was not on April Fool's, I don't think. It was just kind of it was probably the best joke I've ever had put on me. She said, "Is your roof leaking?" And I go, "No." She goes, "Well, how did a drip like you get in?"
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think that was probably I cracked up. I mean, that's only I don't crack up very often, but that one got me. How to drip like you get in.
Well, here's some April Fool's jokes that you can do. That's not gonna. We can still have fun with April Fool's, Ken. So here's some jokes that you can do. I wanted to talk about these this morning. We've got about 10 or 15 minutes before we bring on Robert Hall, who is our guest this morning. So here's one you can do. It's called All Eyes. You can glue up. I don't know where you'd get them. I guess you could get them at Hobby Lobby because for some reason they think they're an essential business, from my understanding, and they're open right now. I may be wrong, but that's what I heard. You can glue a pair of Google eyes. You know those little googly eyes? The little eyes that...
Yeah.
You can glue a pair of googly eyes on every single item within your fridge. So the condiments and the fruits and whatever you have appear to stare back at you when someone opens the door. This also works great with all produce. That's a pretty fun idea.
That's a good one.
Here's another one, a booby trap. Affix a party popper. It's a booby trap. Affix a party popper. It's the kind of dollar store item you can buy at New Year's Eve to the jamb of a closed door. Now, I've done – this one's fun. I've done the ones – you know the pull strings that pop really loud, Ken? The fireworks, the strings that pop. My brother and I, on April Fools, we used to tie those to the door so when you open up the door, it'd pop real loud. We used to do that. But this one is you take a party popper and you put it in the jamb of a closed door with a string stretched across the door. So when someone turns the knob and opens the door, they'll find themselves surprised by a loud noise and a mini explosion of confetti. That's a fun one. Safe and fun.
That's a good one.
Here's one that I would love. This is a great one to do. And it would be really funny, especially if you didn't have a baby in the house. It's the dirty diaper.
Oh.
It's a classic baby shower game. Get you some chocolate. Oh, Ken, this is disgusting. Get you some chocolate and melt it inside of the diaper. If you have a baby in the home, smear a diaper with chocolate candy or peanut butter and then call a spouse or child to observe the honors. You taste the mess. Come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. I think it would be even more fun if you didn't have a baby and you're like, what is this dirty diaper doing in our house? So that's one you can do. These are fun ones. Here's one. Place bubble wrap under an area rug or bath mat for a rude surprise when a passerby steps down. This one is particularly effective first thing in the morning before your unsuspecting victim, has had any coffee. Nothing like a loud, unexpected noise to wake someone up real quick. Little bubble wrap. I don't know. Ken, I don't know if a lot of people have bubble wrap laying around because Amazon's way behind on their deliveries. In fact, they all went on strike. Have you heard about that?
I did. Yeah, bubble wrap's fun. I remember way back when I worked at McNeil Consumer Products, I made Tylenol there. And it's where IKEA is now in Round Rock. That's where I used to work. But anyway, I remember we bubble wrapped this lady that we worked with. I mean, we wrapped her up in bubble wrap. We taped it. She couldn't even get out. She's a real skinny lady. I remember bubble wrap as those. I remember that brings back the memory of her. You know, I didn't participate. I did not participate, but these guys wrapped her up in bubble wrap and they taped her and she couldn't get out.
Oh my goodness, man. A lot of friends joining us this morning. Give them a shout-out here on Facebook Live. Chris Courtney of Courtney Home Inspections. Good morning to you, Chris, one of our sponsors here on HRN. My beautiful mother-in-law joining us this morning, Miss Nikki Brennan. Good morning to you, Nikki. Hope you're doing okay, Miss Brennan. Miss Salinas Romy joining us. Good morning to you. Kitty Voris, good morning to you. Matthew Johnson in Huntsville, Texas. Good morning, Matthew. I hope you're doing okay, my man. Andrea Pasek joining us. Good morning to you, Andrea. Danny Barrera. What's going on, Danny? I saw your brother just a couple of weeks ago, man. I've known Danny's brother a long time. He lives in my parents' neighborhood, and I didn't even know that for the longest time. But I saw your brother Bobby, and I gave him a wave. I honked at him. He probably was like, "Who is this guy honking at me?" Rachel Logue joining us. Rachel Ken said that she likes the bubble wrap idea. Good morning,
it's
Rachel.
pretty cool. You can do that to your kids.
Here's some news. We were talking about the bubble wrap may be in slow demand right now or slow supply because of Amazon. I just wanted to kind of step aside real quick. Amazon firing a New York warehouse worker who organized a protest over the safety precautions taken by the firm, by Amazon, to deal with the coronavirus pandemic. This, by the way, by the BBC, this fight comes as pressure builds on Amazon and other delivery firms to improve protection for workers worried about getting infected with the coronavirus. Well, the firing of that worker prompted a rebuke by the state's attorney general, who called for an investigation into whether it violated worker rights. Amazon defended the action. It said the worker, Christian Smalls. That's a cool last name, though. Smalls. Do you think that's a cool?
Yeah.
That'd be a cool last name. Like, what up, Smalls? What's going on, Smalls? I'm going to start calling. What up, Smalls?
Or you could say it like the British. What's up, Smalls? No, that's northeastern part of the country.
Hey,
We're talking New England.
Hey, Charlie.
New England states.
Charlie, what's up, Smalls? How you doing, big guy?
Smalls.
Hey, Charlie.
What's up, Smalls?
Hey, Charlie, you want to go get a grinder? A grinder up in the Northeast is a sub sandwich.
Yeah, a grinder?
Yeah, a grinder, Charlie. We can go get a grinder and then get a pop, Charlie. Got a lot of
friends. We're going
to
hop in that car and go get a grinder.
I love the Northeast, man. A lot of friends from that area. And I love, it's funny because people talk about the Texas accent. And they poke fun at us. I like poking fun at my friends from the Northeast, man. Everybody, that's what's so cool about the United States, Ken. We can bounce around from place to place. Big guy, you know what I'm saying, Charlie? Big guy, Ken's Guitars, and we can have fun, man.
I love it when people come to the store and I can tell they're from Boston or somewhere, and I'll deepen my accent even more. How y'all doing today? I'll say stuff like that.
Well, this worker, Christian Smalls, he had received a warning about social distancing rules and was supposed to stay home after coming in contact with an infected colleague. Despite that instruction to stay home with pay, he came on site, further putting the teams at risk, a spokesperson said, adding that just 15 of the more than 5,000 people who work at the New York facility participated in the protest. They're calling it immoral and inhumane. New York State Attorney General Letitia James said her office was considering, quote-unquote, all legal options regarding Mr. Small's firing. She said it's disgraceful that Amazon would terminate an employee who bravely stood up to protect himself and his colleagues, she said. At a time when so many New Yorkers are struggling and are deeply concerned about their safety, this action was also immoral and inhumane. Well, Amazon's practices are under scrutiny as the number of reported coronavirus cases at its facilities increases, while demand for its services boom due to lockdowns across the world. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that, Ken. It's been a tough situation for a lot of people. Let's get back to some April Fool's jokes. All right,
crazy world we live in.
Rubber band barrier, Ken. Here's one. Take some time to wrap someone's most essential objects, like the remote control. This is a funny one. Like their remote control or their smartphone. I think it'd be really cool on a smartphone, with layers upon layers upon layers of rubber bands, and then watch them try to remain patient long enough to free it.
Oh, rubber bands, and that reminds me of the best. Okay, this is the best April Fool's joke ever. Okay, my mom, I'd be upstairs when I was growing up. The night before, I wait till everybody went to bed. The night before, I would put a rubber band around the handle of the spray, the spray hose that comes out off the kitchen sink.
Gotcha.
And you put a rubber band around that, the handle of the kitchen sink where it's activated. And then when my mom would turn on the water, it would spray her.
Oh, man. Dude, somebody did that to me at a church camp, and it was so funny, Ken, because I like to play jokes on people. But I enjoyed this one because nobody was there to see it. They said it for me, and then they were gone, and they never even saw that it happened to me. So the joke didn't work too well as far as them being able to laugh at me. But, I think I may have said a couple of words that I probably shouldn't have said, especially at a church camp. But luckily nobody was there to hear it, So yeah, take the sprayer. Take the sprayer and put a rubber band on it. That'll really get some people happy for you.
It's one of the best jokes you can pull on anybody. It's because they turn on the water in the kitchen sink and then they get sprayed and it's funny.
Hey, this one looks really fun. This would really get somebody upset. It's called the gravity-defying glass. You place an upside-down glass of water on your prank victim's desk or table and let them figure out how to remove the glass without causing the water inside to spill. So I'm sitting here wondering,
Wow.
how do you do that? How do you get a glass of water and make the water stay inside of it when I thought maybe you flip it down upside down really fast. To do this, fill a glass of water and then place a card over the top before turning it upside down quickly on the surface and then carefully remove the card.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that would work.
Man, that's yeah.
I would suggest that if you do that one, practice first and have a towel next to you.
Yeah. Seemed like you'd have to remove it fast, not slow.
I want to try that now. You know, I want to try that. Let's try this real quick. People aren't going to be able to see this, but I'm going to take a bottle. I've got a bottle of water that I've been drinking here, Ken. All right. I'm going to put this. I've got a little card that I'm putting on the top of it. Now, you can see it. Other folks out there that are listening can't see it. I've got a bottle of water, a little card on top of it. I'm going to do this away from my laptop, though, and let's see what happens. All right. I'm flipping it over. Oh, no. Dude, the water just – it doesn't work, Ken. The water just went everywhere. Good thing I did that away from my laptop. So so again, that may be a dumb joke. That's you know what? That's an April Fool's joke that somebody's trying to play an April Fool's on you if you decide to do it. Literally, water just went everywhere. I don't even know why I thought that would work. Here's one with glue. The prank's on the messier side, but it's super easy to execute. Swap the clear disinfectant with a container of sanitizer for clear school glue, and oh man, that's horrible. That one's bad, especially right now with the coronavirus. Someone is saying, swap out hand sanitizer with glue.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh, another joke. Here's another one. Here's something a buddy of mine did. We were at a Whataburger or somewhere like that one time. The table in front of we were still eating, and he unscrewed the cap to a salt shaker.
And then
he unscrewed the cap to the salt shaker, and that was for the next person sitting down. Well, the whole place was almost empty. This big old guy sits down and at that table, and we had to get up and tell him, hey, we didn't want him to do it while we were there because he would have killed us. But you unscrew the salt shaker cap, that you and of course when they start to salt everything, the salt just falls everywhere, all over your food.
We did.
You ever done that?
I've never done that one. Someone did it to me before. Here's one, and then we're going to bring Robert on here in just a minute. Time now is 8:02 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Georgetown here on KHGTDB, Georgetown's hometown station. One time, Ken, we were at Applebee's. I was probably 17 years old. I was with my friend at the time, and we thought it would be funny to go ahead and talk about how last week someone had passed away from eating at Applebee's. Really loud. And a couple walked in behind us, and we started talking about this. I just can't believe that poor guy didn't make it last week after that food poisoning here. I don't even know why we're here. And we kept rambling on for like 4 or 5 minutes about that. And a couple behind us that came in heard us. They got up and said, we're not going to eat here. And they got up and left.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're going to be careful. Well, Ken, we're going to step aside. We're going to take a break. We've got our special guest coming on here. It is Robert Hall, who is joining us. They've got a great ministry helping out young kids in our area. So we'll be back in just a few moments. We'll step aside and take a break with weather and a quick news update. This is Good Morning Georgetown as we continue here on Hip Radio Network Georgetown. We'll be right back here in just a few moments. Make sure to stay with us, friends. We'll be right back.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
As last week ended, President Trump was saying he was hoping the country would be reopened for business despite the coronavirus pandemic by Easter Sunday, April 12th. However, yesterday he announced he's extending social distancing guidelines as a result of the virus for several more weeks.
We will be extending our guidelines to April 30th to slow the spread.
New York City's mayor calling it a last resort. Bill de Blasio saying he has authorized police to issue $500 tickets to people who violate social distancing rules amid the coronavirus pandemic. Pope Francis calling for a temporary worldwide ceasefire. He called for the global halt to hostilities yesterday, saying countries need to protect their people from the coronavirus pandemic. And this is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I think I've turned a corner in not having so much fatigue. That was my initial problem, was I was just tired all the time. So I think it's helping me with that. I think it's a whole lot better as a supplement than a lot of other products. Basically, you heal from the cellular level up. That's why nutrition is so important. Having whole foods is very important for health. I really think that it's been helping me overall.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code USA.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson declaring a disaster in the city of Jonesboro after a Saturday tornado touched down there. The National Weather Service says that it was an EF3 tornado. It did serious damage to downtown Jonesboro, but only a few minor injuries were reported. An EF1 touchdown in nearby Greene County. Checks from the recently passed coronavirus economic stimulus bill should be arriving in American bank accounts and mailboxes within the next 3 to 4 weeks, according to Treasury Chief Stephen Mnuchin. A family of 4 could get up to $3,400, while an individual taxpayer would receive around $1,200. On this day in history, President Ronald Reagan was shot and wounded after a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel. John Hinckley Jr. later disclosed that he was motivated by wanting to impress actress Jodie Foster. This is USA Radio News.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Isolated thunderstorms likely today, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 70, easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for isolated thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 55, mainly clear skies and quiet. Daytime highs approaching 74 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hip and Ken Covington.
Good morning, Georgetown, and welcome back. Time now, 8:09 a.m. Our weather feed wasn't correct. It said it was 62 degrees outside and thunderstorms today. That may have been an old forecast because it's definitely not 62 outside. When I got out the doors just a few minutes ago or earlier, about an hour ago, it was in the 40s. So ignore that weather forecast. Paul Trombley, he's our chief meteorologist, but it is a system that we receive those forecasts from, and I know that that's not accurate this morning. I want to welcome everybody back in. This is Good Morning Georgetown here on KHGTDB. It's Hip Radio Network Georgetown, your hometown station. A lot of folks joining us this morning on the Facebook live stream, but it is my pleasure and honor now to introduce a good friend of mine, somebody that I've known a very long time, and who is our guest on the show this morning, Mr. Robert Hall. Robert, good morning to you. How you doing out there this morning?
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Georgetown, and a lot of Facebook friends of ours. Doing good, sir. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. I'm just glad to have you on the show, Robert, with Boys to Men of God and Daughters of the King. It's a ministry that you had started several years ago. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But you're making a tremendous impact along with your help on youth in our area and just really giving them some inspiration and just really helping out a lot of kids. But before we talk about that, Robert, talk a little bit about yourself, man. How long you been in the Georgetown area and just what you've been up to, man.
Yeah, so I got out of the military when I was about 21 years old. So that was about 1991. I moved to Round Rock and Georgetown area. And so I've been here about 30 years now. And, and we really love Williamson County. We love this area.
And you had a business for many years, sold that, and really started this ministry. And you've got some kiddos yourself, and so a family guy and just someone who really loves the Lord and what you do and your work. Talk a little bit more kind of about those things, Robert.
Yeah, so we had our own company. It was a CNC machine shop for about 11 years, and we started during lunchtime, partnered with like Starry Mentor program, and was mentoring like three different boys during lunch and stuff. And the teachers were asking if we could, if there were more children that needed mentoring, and they said there's just kind of a shortage of mentors. And that's kind of what prompted us to go ahead and try to do this in a group setting to reach as many kids as possible. And once it started growing, we couldn't really run our business and our nonprofit with excellence. So we had to choose one, and we couldn't say no to the kids. So we kind of shut it down and just took a step of faith and went out and now we're able to reach a whole lot more kids. And, it's been a blessing.
Well, it's pretty incredible what you guys have been able to do, of course, with your help and a lot of folks helping out. You started out at Boys to Men of God and then brought on Daughters of the King. It's a Christian organization, a 501c3 nonprofit that exists to mentor children ages 4 to 12 in a family group setting who have experienced the absence of a father or mother, or for children that just need a friend. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it just started out as Boys to Men of God. Is that correct? And then you guys also started Daughters of the King. Is that right, Robert?
Yes. It was really neat how it started off, because we started off as Boys to Men of God, and 5 boys showed up. And then shortly, about 10, 15 minutes later, their sisters showed up and said, "What about us?" So we had some women volunteers, Marcy Flores, and happened to be there. And I said, "Marcy, do you mind tending to the girls?" And she said, "Sure." And they started their own little group and called it Daughters of the King. So God has a way of working things out.
You've got a staff or a board there that helps you out. Can you talk a little bit about your staff and the board that really helps this organization, and a little bit more about them, Robert?
Yeah, so we have 2 board members that live in Sun City, Gary and Vesta Edmonds. They're retired, and they've been all around the country, and they've really been a part of a lot of children's ministries. And the reason they really reached out to us is because they're able to actually build relationships with the kids and actually watch them kind of grow. And so they're really, they just love being a part, and they've been instrumental in helping. Gary Edmonds is actually our board treasurer. And one of our other board members is Shayla B. But she's her son is in the program, and we thought it was important to have one of the moms on the board of directors to make sure we stay, in line and make sure we're serving them according to what they need the most. And so she's been instrumental in helping, like, provide meals and cook and Philip Warren, he's a mentor. He's an ex-football player. He comes in and he loves the kids. So we have let's see, and then my wife is on staff part-time and like 25 hours a week, even though she serves like 60 hours a week.
That's the way it normally is.
While I'm at work all day long, she's she's, I guess, doing all the hard work behind the scenes. So she doesn't get very much credit for everything she does. And my son, Luke Hall, he's right there with her, just serving and working and doing a wonderful job. While I'm at work during the day, I just come home and get to enjoy the kids.
Well, I think it's incredible, Robert. Like I said, I've known you a long time. We met at church many, many years ago. I've always looked up to you as just a man of God and someone with incredible faith. You've always made an impact on a lot of people, and now just really utilizing your talents that God has blessed you with to be able to help out these kids, and not just young boys, but now young girls as well, through both organizations of Boys to Men of God and Daughters of the King. Talk more about the program and really how you help out these children and how they find out about you.
A lot of it is through Facebook. That's why we do a lot of Facebook. The Lord put it on my heart that this ministry needs to be a light, no shadows, everything needs to be kind of like a real open ministry where everybody can kind of see it, and kind of like walking in the light, so to speak. And so just getting it out there, showing what we do. A lot of people hear about it through other friends through Facebook and see pictures and activities and stuff. And so a lot of it's word of mouth. We do have a lot of children right at the community center, which we partner with Round Rock Housing Authority next to Round Rock High School. They have 3 locations in Round Rock. And, we have about 10 or 12 children from the Housing Authority right there that come. And then during the summertime, we might actually get up to about 20 because, summertime. And then the neighborhood around the area, we'll get another 10, 15, 20 kids. And then we have a lot of other kids who get driven in by their grandma and the gardens and stuff. And they just all come in after school, get a snack. Of course, we do it all year long, but we keep the time frame the same, kind of like in the afternoon, like say when a dad would get home, for example. Dads get off work, a lot of them don't have a dad. And so, try to throw football with them, grill some burgers, just, we pray for a meal and just enjoy, kind of let them see what a family looks like that might have a dad around,
Well, as we're talking to Robert Hall this morning of Boys to Men of God and Daughters of the King, Robert, kind of talk about who is the ideal child to be a part of your organization. Who is an ideal child that you guys would want to help out and benefit?
Well, the ideal child would be one that doesn't really have any friends, maybe kind of feels like they're an outcast, maybe, maybe their dad's not around and they just really have, really want to hang around some men that, just to kind of fill that gap that maybe they're missing. We actually have some kids that do have their dad at home, but they just, they just love to come and serve and volunteer too with other kids. But yeah, mostly children that are sad or lonely, come in, but a lot of them are ones from broken homes and stuff. So any child that's just from a broken home and just doesn't, really fit in with all the other kids that may have the mom and dad and a perfect, what they perceive as a perfect family. Though we know there's no perfect family, they just really come in and light up. So.
Well, you talked about this program. It's not just during the summer, although that's when you have a lot more kids, but it's year-round, basically. Talk a little bit more about, you mentioned meeting at the Round Rock Housing Authority. Talk a little bit more about those meetings and how often they happen and those kind of things, Robert.
Well, right now during the coronavirus quarantine, we're just serving meals like drive-through. So we're meeting every Monday through Friday from people are allowed to come by 5:30 to 6:30 to pick up a meal. And last night, for example, we had 71 meals that we gave out to families and the housing authority, and anybody that has that that could really use a meal, we would love them to come by. But during the regular school year in summer, we've been doing a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday snack after school. Come home, we'll have a hot dinner prepared. We just, like I said, we'll just pray together. Maybe tell them a little Bible story or give a little testimony or something. But just let them play and just enjoy building relationships and getting along with each other, and just kind of, some of these kids come from really tough places and home's not always the best, and they just really love being there, and a lot of them are turning out to start serving and helping, and it's just a joy to have them and watch them grow.
Well, more about what you guys are doing, Robert, just making an impact on these kids. It's kids who maybe feel left out. It's kids who maybe only have one parent. It's kids who need a friend. I think it's a tremendous opportunity for kids out there that need somebody. Your organization, very safe in what you do. Of course, any volunteers, talk about that process and just the safety and to ensure that these kids remain safe, because I know that's your number one priority.
Absolutely. Well, to begin with, I was I served as a United States Navy search and rescue swimmer for 4 years, and I was on our ship's security alert team. So anytime any kind of security happened, we went down to the gun locker, got our guns, and and so that's kind of where my security kind of began. And then at Celebration Church, when our children were young, Celebration Church was instrumental in helping bring our children up when they were little. And I was director of security there for many years, and level 4 executive protection officer. So had a badge and a gun as well there. Basically, Celebration being a mega church is like it's basically a city on a hill. There's you need your firefighters, EMS, security people. People ask why you need security, but you just never know who's going to show up there. We got to be ready. And so it was just safety and security is number one. So the volunteers, they not only was I able to build relationships with law enforcement and military in the community as director of security, but just having that background and everything, and meeting lots of men of God in the community as well, and having a platform to do that. So most of the men that come I've known for years, or I've known the people that known them for years. So we want to make sure that they're good, outstanding mentors, but we also do a national, local background checks and all that as well. Like we're to the highest level you can go to make sure our kids are safe.
I'm going through your Facebook here on the Boys to Men of God and Daughters of the King page, showing some pictures here as you're talking, Robert. And, man, you guys, it looks like y'all have so much fun. And these kids that – one thing that I wanted to point out and mention is these kids – a lot of these kids before your organization, they may have not been smiling. And all of these pictures, Robert, these kids look incredibly happy, and they've got somebody and many friends now. Just talk about the joy of these kids. It's amazing.
Yeah, just watching them come in, first of all, kind of unsure of the program because they don't know anything about it. Moms or grandma or, aunt, kind of sometimes making them come, even though they don't really feel comfortable being there. But within the day or two, sometimes just a couple of days, it's like you see them completely from a sad child that the parents saying they're kind of being disrespectful and stuff. And one of the, we'll just see them light up, and now they just cannot wait to come back to Boys to Men of God. There's and Daughters of the King are just so happy, and a lot of times the moms, or guardians will use that as leverage. Like if you're not going to be good today, you're not going to go to Boys to Men of God, Daughters of the King, and so they'll shape up, and so it's just a joy to see how God's doing all this. We give him all the glory because he's doing a great work.
Well, it's pretty amazing. Talk a little bit more about the activities. You talked about just the food and what you guys do together. Talk a little bit more, if you don't mind, about the activities and what a child can expect to experience at the organization and at y'all's meetings.
Well, girls love crafts and kind of cooking and different things like that, and boys kind of like video games. So we really try to, get them in and let them do things that they enjoy as well. So we don't want them to play a lot of video games while they're there, but we do let them play like a half an hour of video games to, with their friends, so they can just kind of build those relationships on their level. And then, we say, okay, game's over. Let's go outside and let's play some basketball, so a football. Some of them, they don't want to do that sometimes, but then they're starting to get more active outside. And even our outreaches that we do, we'll break out tables with Legos. Just put them outside instead of leaving them inside, just to get outside. Because during the coronavirus, I've seen so many people outside now compared to. So we try to get the kids outside as much as possible. And Saturday we have adventures once a month, that when we get back on schedule, we have a bus that Square Cow Movers in Austin donated to us. It's a big white shuttle bus, and we can hold 23 passengers. And they also support us financially as well, and they're just been an incredible blessing to our ministry. We'll load them up on the bus and go. We've gone on camping trips to like Enchanted Rock. We partner with the Sand Outdoor Adventures, and then we'll go to Georgetown Lake. Let them kind of go to the lake, skip rocks. Whatever. We have friends that have property that will do camp outs, and there's this Kurt Bengelsdorf and Renee Bengelsdorf with Charlie Bravo Aviation. They actually invited the kids out to fly in airplanes.
Wow. One
time. And so 40 children and that never flew in a plane before, just extremely excited, had the time of their lives. Spirit 1059, they had a daddy-daughter dance recently, and we were able to take 9 girls, some of the mentors, to daddy-daughter dance, and it was neat to see my wife Sarah and some of the women go and shop for dresses for them and their outfits and everything, and it's just like a family. You just your own kids, just anything you do with your own kids, we try to do with these kids because they don't really get out too much.
Well, we're talking to Robert Hall this morning, the founder of Boys to Men of God and Daughters of the King. It's a 501c3 nonprofit ministry that's helping reach children that may not have both parents, a child that may not have a friend, a child that just wants to smile, have somebody that knows that they care about them, providing a meal, having fun, and just teaching kids what it's like to be a kid. Robert Hall, the work you've done, I've said it several times on this broadcast here this morning, is tremendous. I'm showing a lot of pictures. You mentioned basketball a while ago. There's a lot of pictures of kids out there on a basketball court having fun. One of them that was really cool that I showed a few seconds ago, it looks like you guys were at an Austin Spurs game. Is that correct?
Yeah, we got invited out to the Austin Spurs by somebody that was offered some tickets for us. So yeah, that was a big hit for a lot of the boys. Loved the basketball and football.
That is really incredible, man. Well, you've got some videos here on YouTube. I was going to ask, with your permission, is it okay if we play one of those and just kind of show folks a little bit more about what you guys do? Is that okay?
Sure.
There's one on here. I think it's one of y'all's main promotional videos. It's about 2 minutes long. I'm going to get that queued up. But, here on HRN, unlike regular radio, there's people who produce things for you in the background. I don't have that. I'm the producer and the host. So let me get that queued up. We're going to step aside and take a quick break. And then if Ken, after we come out of that video, if Ken has any questions too, I'll give him an opportunity to chat with you for just a bit. But we'll step aside here for just a second. Stay with us, friends, as we're continuing this meeting this morning. Our special guest, Robert Hall of Boys to Men of God and Daughters of the King. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes. Man, I love that video, Robert, here, as we'll bring you back on in just a second. That video was showing, and I know those that were on the app couldn't see it, but it was showing just a lot of different photos and different things. We had that there on the Facebook live stream, so those on Facebook got to see that. We'll post the link for more information on how folks can get a hold of your organization, Robert, and all of that. We got about 2 or 3 more minutes here. I know that you've got to get going here in a little bit. And again, I appreciate your time this morning as we're continuing to chat with Robert Hall of Boys to Men of God, Daughters of the King. Robert, if folks want more information, maybe they have a child that they would like to get involved or they want to volunteer, what are you looking for as far as volunteers goes? I'll start with that question.
Well, it's just really important that they just really have a heart for children, and we love volunteers, but we don't want to manipulate or kind of get people to feel like they have to come volunteer because we know what we're doing is important, but we want children that or volunteers that really have a heart that love these kids. That's the biggest thing. And of course, love the Lord and love people. And
if there's folks out there who want more information, how can they find you? How can they get in touch with your organization?
Yeah, www.boys2menofgod.com is the website. So all spelled out, boys2menofgod.com. And that has everything. That has our Facebook page and as well. And of course on Facebook it's Facebook. I think
just search
Pure Religion.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is the Pure Religion. Yeah. And if you search for the Boys to Men of God, of course, that will pop up on there as well. And so I'm going to tag, for those that are on the Facebook live stream right now, I've went ahead and tagged you guys. So all you got to do, if you're on the Facebook live stream, we've got a lot of folks still joining us. Make sure to click on that link and then hit like, and you can find more information. Ken is with us as well. Robert, Ken is our co-host here, the namesake of Good Morning Georgetown, because it usually says with Rob and Ken, but Ken has been tremendously busy and just taking care of his kiddo. Ken, are you still out there this morning?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you, Ken. I just wanted to know if you have any questions for Robert before we let him go here in just a little bit, Ken.
No, I don't have any questions, but I just want to tell you that, what you're doing is very important, because otherwise kids are just, like my boy, he plays Fortnite a lot. He's playing video games a lot, which is important, but he's on it too much. So
yeah,
you're getting these kids involved in different things besides just looking at a screen all day. It's a very important thing to do. Now, I'm trying to get my boy out as much as I can. He's kind of a homebody, so he likes to stay inside nowadays. But thanks for what you do.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my son loves Kenz Guitars. He's a worship leader at Celebration Church. He plays guitar, and he loves going to Kenz Guitars. So thank you for what you do as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, Robert, any final comments from you before we let you go? I know that you've got things to do today, but again, appreciate you being here, man. I just love what you do. I love your relationship with the Lord and just how you're always helping folks and really helping these kids out. Any final comments before we let you go, Robert?
No, I just wanted to say thank you, Rob, and proud of you, brother. It's an honor to come alongside you and help you the best we can as well. We love your brother and love what you're doing, and we pray that your radio station will be blessed and lots of people come around you and let you do what you love, brother.
Hey, well, I appreciate that, Robert. Again, more information, you can visit them online. It is boys2menofgod.com. That's BOYS, and not the number 2, but spell it out, T-O, boys, T-O, menofgod.com. Robert, we'll check in with you maybe in a couple of months, see how things are going. And I did want to ask you one final thing. What are y'all's biggest needs right now, Robert?
Biggest needs are food or financial support, because we're serving about close to 2,000 meals a month right now with everybody coming to drive through, and we're getting more and more people coming every night because a lot of people have lost their jobs and continuing to lose their jobs, and we want to make sure we meet that need to give as many meals as we can to these families. They get breakfast and lunch from the school district, which is amazing. What we do is we provide meals for dinner, so they can just drive by and pick up meals to go. And so that's really our biggest need right now is funding for food. And But thankfully, Oasis Church and Faithful Life Church we partner with a lot of local churches for our regular ministry, but Oasis and Faithful Life have gone over and above and really put out some finances for us to really be able to help in that area. And so we're very grateful for them as well.
Awesome. Well, Robert, we appreciate you, brother. Have a great day. And again, we'll touch base with you in a couple of months, see how things are going, and we'll definitely keep you guys in our prayers as well. God bless you, man, and thanks for being on this morning.
Thank you so much, Rob. Appreciate it.
Well, once again, that was Robert Hall joining us here on Good Morning Georgetown. We're going to step aside. We'll take another break, and when we come back, Ken and I will continue our shenanigans. So stay with us. This is Good Morning Georgetown here on Hip Radio Network. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Welcome back, friends. Rob Hip here. Good Morning Georgetown here on Hip Radio Network Georgetown. I'm Rob Hip, joining you and joining all of us this morning, Ken Covington, as we are working remotely doing our part. And Ken, I probably actually just lost you because of this whole situation with the program saying that we only get 40 minutes for whatever reason, and it's really only 40 minutes for a couple of users. So I'm going to send Ken a message because it just timed out on us. I guess I'd probably need to go ahead and pay for the full version, so to quit doing that. Ken, hold on one second, Ken. I know you just rejoined us here. Let me go ahead and stop this. And Ken, are you back on with us? Are you back there, Ken?
Yeah, it said the free meeting was over. So.
Yeah, we're back now. That happened yesterday. Man, I was embarrassed because I was talking to my good friend, Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. Very honored to have him on our show, and I've just felt completely unprofessional because it even knocked him off yesterday.
I think you get 40 minutes.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, 40 minutes. It's free. It's unlimited, I think, between two people, but if you bring on a third person, it only gives you 40 minutes. And I thought, well, I said goodbye to Robert, signed him off, and I thought, okay, we're good to go. And then lo and behold, it didn't count him leaving, and it just wanted to be mean to you and me, Ken, is what happened this morning.
Okay.
So, that's just how it is here. But anyways, boy, what a program. I enjoy Robert, Ken. He's such an outstanding guy and what he does, and just watching him, he's always been a straight shooter. He's always sought the Lord in what he does, and I just love Robert so much, and it was incredible to have him on this morning and hear his story about how he's making an impact on kids. I love hearing people that are doing great things in kids' lives, Ken. It's just amazing to hear that. So, and we'll definitely check in with him here in a couple of months and kind of see how things are going. But Ken, what have you been doing? I know that things have been tough because your shop's been closed down and you haven't been able to do a whole lot. What have you been up to during this whole coronavirus, man?
Well, I've been catching up on trimming the bushes around the house. The house is it's going to look good by the time all this is over.
Yeah, you come over to my house. I got lawn work that needs I don't know because the social distancing.
I can help you out. Let's see, mowing, trimming the bushes, cleaning the garage, and also working at the store trying to catch up on some stuff too. I've been, applying for the small business loans and stuff like that, the grants and stuff. That's taking some time. Heck, I can go to the store and burn 3 to 4 hours in a heartbeat just trying to get things done.
What have you been eating during this whole situation?
Rice and beans.
Bread, rice, any bread?
Yeah. Hey, that's a good poor man's meal. No, I've been, just a normal food. I like those HEB salads, which I haven't gone to HEB because it's like just a pain to stand in line right now. But I know the time's coming where I'm going to have to do that. I went to HEB last week. I got there early, and I saw about 200 umbrellas outside. It was kind of drizzly, rainy that morning. Yes, and there was the whole front was just lined with umbrellas.
200, man, that's crazy.
I mean, I'm thinking, I'm just kind of guessing, but that's when I pulled up into the parking lot, the one on Williams Drive, I could swear I saw about 200 umbrellas. People just waiting to get in.
Well, we're talking to Ken Covington this morning, our co-host here on Good Morning Georgetown. Appreciate you being with us, buddy. And we had Robert Hall on here just a few minutes ago. I'm having to pull my sleeves down. It's a little chilly here in the remote studio this morning. For those on Facebook, you can see me. I'm kind of wrapped up here. I'm cold, man. Wanted to talk about a few articles here, though, in the Williamson County Sun, the paper coming out yesterday, by the way, or actually today. If you subscribe to the newspaper, you get the digital edition. Make sure that you do that. Go visit our friends at the Williamson County Sun. I appreciate Clark and all of his staff. They do such incredible work, and we've got a great relationship with the local newspaper, and I've been reading it since I was a kid, since the moment I could read. I highly encourage you to subscribe to the Williamson County Sun. Some of the headlines today in the Williamson County Sun, right there on the front page, talking about Williamson County marking the first death in 50 cases now of the coronavirus. The Williamson County Health District confirmed the first coronavirus death in the county on Saturday. The resident was a man in his 70s. The health department, due to privacy protection laws, of course, unable to release any additional patient information. The number of confirmed cases has reached 50 by press time yesterday. Williamson County Judge Bill Gravel expressed condolences to the family, to the deceased for their loss, saying, quote unquote, to the rest of the community, I emphasize that it is everyone's responsibility to stay home and stay safe in order to protect our community, our families, and especially the most vulnerable among us. Hate to hear that, Ken. Unfortunately, I think that those numbers are going to go up, and just encouraging everybody, please continue to remain safe and do your part with the social distancing. And hopefully after all this is over, the social distancing, we can get back to hugging and shaking hands. Because I'm a hugger and a handshaker, Ken, and I haven't been able to do that, man.
Yeah, I saw my mom like 3 weeks ago and luckily I went to see her on a Saturday, and then I was going to go that next Monday or Tuesday after spring break started. I was going to take Jordan, my boy, and we were not allowed to go in. So I haven't seen her in a month. So
is she in Georgetown or where's she at?
Yeah, she's at a place called the Tiffin House. It's out. I forget what highway that is. You go down Williams Drive and then you take that highway that goes to like the Reunion Ranch.
Oh yeah, 2243.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's it. Anyway, it's about a mile down and off to the right, but it's a really nice place. But I haven't been able to go see her, so it's been about a month.
Have you been able to talk to? I mean, you talked to her on the phone, correct? Have you been able to do that?
Talk, yeah.
Do y'all have the video chat? Does she do that?
No, I don't think they have the technology to do that. They might. That's a good idea. Maybe I should talk to them about that.
Does she carry one of those smartphones with her or not?
No.
I got my dad on one. He finally learned how to use it, so he calls me every day now on the Google Duo, and he looks like Santa Claus because he hasn't. He's in a nursing home up in Bell County, and of course they've got everything locked down and taking care of him. More articles this morning in today's paper from the Williamson County Sun. This article by Catherine Anthony, titled GISD, of course, Georgetown Independent School District lending to tech students, or lending technology to students. With the school closures extended through mid-April, Georgetown ISD is lending technology to families who do not have a device at home for online distance learning. Distance learning will begin. Oh, here we go, Ken. The distance learning will begin. You need to know this because of Jordan. Distance learning will begin Monday, April the 6th. So if he's on Fortnite, tell him, hey, aren't you supposed to be at school?
Yeah.
So April the 6th.
I was wondering when that was going to start because, because people have been asking me when does it start? I don't know. But I know the band teacher, he had a video out yesterday. Jordan playing trombone.
Well, there it is. It's going to be on April the 6th.
I was wondering when the classes were going to start. So it's April the 6th, huh?
April the 6th. Make a note of that, Ken, because if he's on it's Monday. Yep. So Monday.
So I'm going to put here school. I've got a calendar right here. Schools.
Restarts. Well, GISD has also arranged for district families to secure 60 days of free internet access through Suddenlink and Spectrum. Information on that available on GISD's distance learning page, georgetownisd.org. Superintendent Fred Brent said families needing technologies were identified through a survey and personal outreach. They must register for a device on GISD's distance learning webpage and will be assigned a checkout time on dates that it will happen below. Those checkout dates are at Eastview High School Wednesday, April the 1st at noon to 6 p.m. At Georgetown High School on April the 2nd from noon to 6. And elementary and middle school families have received their devices already. So that is the way that is all working. Again, more information and the rest of that article can be found in today's edition of the Williamson County Sun newspaper by Catherine Anthony as well. Another article here by Catherine titled Schools Two-Stepping Through Calendar Shuttered to students since March the 23rd. Georgetown ISD plans to reopen schools on Tuesday, April the 14th for now. Since early March, the escalating coronavirus fallout had GISD doing the Texas two-step through the school calendar. Dr. Fred Brent talking here, our superintendent. I understand the rapidly changing news and information pertaining to the coronavirus is creating stress for our students, staff, and families. He put that out in a letter to district families in March the 12th. It's one that could have been written every day since. Of course, still working on that. The rest of that article in today's Williamson County Sun newspaper. Dr. Brent was at Mitchell Elementary School just a few days ago helping to hand out information and some of that technology. This article by Brad Stutzman. Donors deliver meals to hospital staff. You know, Ken, there's a lot of front lines out there. The hospital staff, the doctors, they're right at the front of this. We can't forget about them as well. It takes a village to beat a virus. A small team of Georgetown women is teaming up with local restaurants plus Grace Episcopal Church to make sure frontline healthcare workers at area hospitals get a bite to eat during the coronavirus pandemic. Mixing appreciation with practicality, Sandwiches for Saints is what it's called. It launched Tuesday with the delivery of about 225 Jason's Deli sandwiches to 3 hospitals right here in Georgetown and Round Rock. Retired Georgetown High School English teacher Linda Austin said an inspiration for the project came to her about 3 weeks ago. She said, I was sitting on the porch and listening to all the talk on television about what's happening to hospitals and the nurses. Oh, my gosh, leaving their families at home and not knowing what's going to happen to them, she said. She's quoted as saying, God talked to me on my front porch. Miss Austin said, that's where all of the good stuff happens at my house. How many know? And the rest of that article, by the way, in the Williamson County Sun newspaper, Brad Stutzman, the author of that. Ken, how many know? I miss having a real big, well, I never really had one, so let me say I don't miss it because I've never had one. I want to have a really big front porch like my grandmother has. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. And she lives in Old Town.
I know what you mean. I like the front porches.
Hey, Ken,
I don't have one either.
Had a question here from Michael Price. Appreciate Michael joining us this morning. We'll get to some of those folks on the Facebook live stream. He had a question this morning to you asking, are you doing drop-offs? Are you accepting repairs for drop-offs at your store right now?
We are. Dennis Blansett, who's been doing my repair work for years, he's supposed to be having surgery today, and I guess he's going to have it. I don't know for sure, but I do have another guy that is available. He's very good at what he does. So if you call the store and leave a message, I will get to you. We've had, Jesse Saunders is the guy's name. He's very good repairman. He came to the store yesterday and bought a bunch of strings. I'm selling stuff by appointment only. So if you have something you need, I can be at the store. But Jesse picked up a bunch of strings yesterday, but I gave him 4 names of people that need work done on their guitars that have left messages. So just call the number at the store, 512-869-8064. 512-869-8064, and that's the number to the store, and you will be taken care of.
Ken, you're a musician. You almost made a song right there with the phone number. What was the phone number again?
512-869-8064.
That's the number to the store. I like it, man.
I watched Hee Haw the other day. I haven't watched Hee Haw in years. And that's one thing about being at home. I was watching this, it's called Circle TV. It's out of Nashville. I mean, Hee Haw is pretty corny. You have to admit it. But there was a used car salesman would come on and he'd say, just call us at BR 549. You remember that? Now, you're young. You probably don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that one, no. But there was No, that's funny, man. And there was a automotive dealer in San Antonio, Texas, back in the day. Did I ever tell you this, Ken? His name? And back then it would have been, it was questionable. Nowadays it's just whatever with his commercial. His name was Charles Dom. You ever heard of this guy, Charles Dom? You ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Charles Dom, Damm. Do you know what his commercial was?
What?
Dom good car, Dom good price.
That's good.
Come on down to Charles Dom and get a Dom good car at a Dom good price.
That's funny.
I'll never forget. I was a kid, and I remember hearing that on the radio. I said, is that guy cussing right now? And I was with my uncle.
Yeah.
And my uncle's a pretty heavy church-going gentleman. And I remember hearing that, and I couldn't believe it, but it was just funny. Dom good car at a Dom good price. Charles
that kind of reminds me, there was a doctor down in Austin. He was a pediatrician. His name was Dr. Kidd. His last name was Kidd. And it was Dr. Kidd.
Are you kidding? Ken, sometimes we get corny on this show, Ken. Hey, some more April Fool's jokes. I want to do these. Undrinkable drinks. Whip up some Jell-O and let it sit in juice glasses, complete with a straw in each, and serve them to guests as a surprise. Those drinks aren't liquid at all. The straws will get them nowhere. That would be funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just put some Jell-O in a thing. I don't know. I think people may notice that. Here's one. Nah, this one. Do not do this one. No, this one wouldn't be good, Ken. I don't even want to read it. It's a fake sneeze. I don't want to read that one. Just because of the coronavirus. We don't want to encourage anybody to do that. No, here we go. No end in sight. What's more frustrating than spinning the toilet paper roll endlessly in search of the end? I've had that problem once, maybe. Make that exercise even harder by spraying down the loose edge of the toilet paper roll with a bit of hairspray. They can roll and roll, but it won't get loose, and the edge won't free before they lose their cool. That's pretty funny. Just spray a bunch of it at the end.
Right.
Here's one right here. This one's kind of funny. If you want to do a little April Fools and keep things fun here on a serious situation, you can still have a little bit of fun here. Swap out the photos in your home's frames or in your workplace's employee gallery wall. Replace the familiar faces with pictures of celebrities, politicians, or historic figures. That's pretty funny. So if you have a bunch of photos in your house, just replace them with celebrities or who knows.
Right.
Man. Those are just a few of the fun April Fool's jokes that you can do and have fun. I just really I just really don't feel like doing April Fools this year. I really don't, man. And normally I'm a jokester, but this year I just don't feel like doing it.
Hey, I used to work at a place where they would switch the men and women's bathroom signs.
You go to jail for that.
Yeah, they would do that to new employees every now and then. Like if somebody came in, they would do that. And yeah.
I always had a fun one where I would take a piece of Scotch tape and put it back when I worked in high school. I was working for a distribution company here in town that sold batteries, and I would take a piece of Scotch tape and put it under my boss's mouse, the little red light.
Oh, there you go.
And
that's a good one.
And I also discovered that small pieces of hair used to throw that off as well. So if the Scotch tape, that one, they found out about it right away. So another option, and don't ask me how I did. I don't even remember how I did it. I don't know if I plucked a couple of hairs off the top of my head or how I did it, but you couldn't see it hardly. And I took some hair and I stuffed it in there, and you really couldn't see the hair that well, and they had no idea what was causing it. I mean, that lady was mad. I heard the mouse banging around. I thought she was about to bust it in there one morning.
Oh, my goodness.
And I did.
That's funny.
I think the funniest thing I ever did to her, she was so much fun. I mean, I got along with her really well. I did their IT work. I built their new website, and way back in the day, they were probably one of the top battery distributors here in the United States for a long time. They were one of the first to ever have an online shopping cart back in the 90s. And I redid their website in early 2000, reprogrammed it from scratch. And she had her own kind of office that was walled in. Kind of picture some walls, not a cubicle, but an actual inside of a building, and she was inside of her office was in walls. Okay, I wasn't, but I was right next to her office on the adjacent wall. Does that make sense? So I was right next to her against the wall. Well, she had a bunch of pictures hanging. She had a bunch of pictures hanging on her wall in her office that were right next to my wall. I mean, just on the other side of my wall. And the building was older, and so I didn't really think too much of it. So, and I had a key, so I was always up there working after hours anyways. And one evening, I decided to poke a hole through my wall and through her wall behind one of those photos. And so the next morning when she came, and it was with a hanger. And so, Ken, the next morning when she came in, I put that hanger in the wall. She couldn't see it, of course, because I was on the other side of the wall. I put that hanger through those two holes, and I started pushing it through there, making her picture jiggle around on the wall. And she started freaking out.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What in the heck? She didn't say heck. She said, she's like, what in the heck is going on, man? She thought there was a freaking ghost.
That is a good joke right there.
She thought that there was a ghost in her office because that picture started bouncing around on her wall.
That's the best right there.
Oh, man, we had so much fun. In fact,
that's pretty funny.
In fact,
here's another joke. Here's something my dad used to work for Mobil Chemical in Beaumont. He worked for Mobil for 35 years. This guy, this is back when Volkswagens first came out, I guess. This guy that they worked with, he had a Volkswagen. He started bragging about the good gas mileage he was getting, right? Well, the guys at Mobil, they would fill his gas. They'd fill him up with gas. They take out 2 or 3 gallons of gas in a gas can and fill up his Volkswagen with gas. And he kept talking about, he'd come back the next day bragging about how good his gas mileage was. And it wasn't running out because they kept filling up his Volkswagen with gasoline.
Man.
That was a good joke. That was then finally, I guess they told him, hey, we've been filling your car up with gas every night. So that was kind of a good joke.
Google used to do April Fool's jokes, and
they quit doing it.
No, is this one? This has to be one.
On the news last night, they said Google wasn't going to do any.
No, they're not.
Because of the situation right now, yeah.
Yeah, they're honoring Gene McNamara today. Gene McNamara was born in April 1899, died in what? It says that she was born in 1899 and passed away October 1968. Okay, that makes sense. They said it was her 121st birthday. Well, if she was alive, yes, that would be correct. She was one that helped lead the polio research to help with a vaccine for polio. I should have known that because I'm in the Rotary Club, and that is our main humanitarian effort at Rotary is the eradication of polio. That's something that the Rotary Club has been working on forever. Here's some noted foolery, though, from April Fools. Newspaper, television, radio, social media, they've all had their fun on April Fool's Day. We're not going to do it here on HRN just because of the seriousness of what's going on this year. Here's something, though. Times of London in 1992 reported that Belgium was negotiating to join Holland. Okay, that was an April Fool's joke. The Evening Star of Islington advertised in 1864 a display of donkeys at the Agricultural Hall the next day. Those who arrived early soon realized who the donkeys on display really were. In 1950, the Progress in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, that's a newspaper, the Progress there in Pennsylvania, published a picture of a UFO flying over the town, claiming to have scooped larger publications of the first ever published picture of a real flying saucer. And then in 2008, the BBC presented a documentary of flying penguins, Ken. Flying penguins.
That's funny.
So, a lot of different things there. I always want to know, when did April Fool's start? When did it start? Some believe the day is celebrated in honor of the trickery Mother Nature plays on us in time of the year with unpredictable weather. Another possible connection is the Indian tradition of Holi. The day is celebrated on March 31st and practices the same foolery as April Fool's Day. So does the Roman festival of Hilera, which was celebrated on March the 25th. Hilaria. I wonder if that's a lot of Roman words and Latin words are the beginning of our English words, Ken. Hilaria. I wonder if that's hilarious. Is that where the word
Maybe
hilarious
so, yeah.
came from?
Yeah.
Here it is. The earliest known reference to April Fool's Day is in Chaucer's 1392 Nun's Priest Tale. So this could go all the way back to 1392. Even so, the reference is so vague and possibly not even occurring on the 1st of April, leaving doubt as to whether it is the first reference. There's other scholars who point to the reformation of the calendar by Pope Gregory and the Georgian calendar, which we use today in the 1500s in France. The new year would take place in April, not on January as it does now. The theory is that those who continue to celebrate the new year on April 1st were called Poisson d'Avril, April fish, and pranks would be played on them. I don't want to be called an April fish, Ken.
Yeah.
1582, France accepted the Georgian calendar. I can't even say that. Gregorian calendar. I know it. I can't even think about it. But reforms had already been taking place. In Britain, 1776, there's a clear and reliable reference to April foolishness in an article in Gentleman's Magazine. Reference to I'm sure nowadays if they had a Gentleman's Magazine, it would be something totally different. Reference to a custom in the kingdom of making fools of people on the first day of April. It addresses the day of culmination of an 8-day feast and the beginning of a new year. So those are all of your April Fool's jokes. And I'm just wondering this morning how you are celebrating April Fools. Now, Ken is fooling all of us because he looks like he's dressed in a nice shirt and then he's wearing Longhorn shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Longhorn pants on. My battery was about to die. My battery was about to die, so I had to go get my plug, my charger.
Well,
I had a couple of this day in history. You want to hear them?
Yeah, let's do it. We're after 9, but we got a few more minutes. Go ahead, Ken.
Let's see. My iPad just went poop. Let's see.
While you're pulling those up,
it's just a couple of interesting things. I mean, what we're going through right now is, there's always some kind of things that cause, that takes lives of people, and that's just the natural process of the world we live in. In 1946, Hawaii earthquake tsunami. There was in 1946 a major undersea earthquake measuring 7.4 magnitude in the North Pacific Ocean caused a tsunami that by the time it reached Hawaii, some 2,400 miles away, traveling at 500 miles per hour. Can you imagine a tsunami traveling 500 miles per hour? That's as fast as a jet airliner. It took 4.5 hours to reach Hawaii, with waves reaching 60 feet in height. It hit the coastal areas of Hawaii, causing about 150 deaths. I figured it would cause more than that.
What year was this?
1946.
And that's like faster than the speed of sound, man.
Well, it's most airline jets are about 500 to 600 miles per hour. So
hold on, what is the speed of sound? It's
I forget.
No, it's not. It's 767 miles an hour, but that's still pretty fast at 500 miles an hour. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And one more thing I had in 1970, President Nixon signed into law banning cigarette advertising on television. I thought that's kind of interesting, Now
they continue to imprint for a long time because I remember when I was a kid, I would see cigarette ads.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it canceled it then, though. But because it had been on when? What was it? On television?
In 1970, President Nixon banned cigarette advertising on TV.
Man, so you remember some of those cigarette ads probably.
Oh, yeah. I remember this cowboy. He would be lighting up a cigarette on a horse, kind of out in West Texas somewhere.
Is that Winston? Winston cigarettes?
Yeah, I think it was Winston. Yeah, yeah.
See, it's funny because I don't even smoke, but that advertising with the cowboy smoking a cigarette was so iconic that I remember that.
Yeah.
The old Winston cigarette.
What year were you born?
84. So,
oh, wow. You're so young. Oh, my goodness.
I don't feel like it, though, Ken.
My oldest daughter, Crystal, she was born in 83.
Man. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's crazy. I was looking the other day, writing down the date, and when I wrote, it's when you type it, you don't think about it. I wrote 2020, and I said, man, that is just unbelievable. How are we already at 2020?
Yeah, I know. When I was a kid, I'd think, okay, I'm going to be 60 years old come 2020. And then here I am. I can remember thinking that as a kid, and now here it is. And who would have ever known we'd have this virus and taking over the whole world, you know? But
well, Ken,
I've been seeing posts on Facebook. Let's rewind back to 2019 or something like that. You know, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Just rewind it, and we'll be good to go. Well, Ken,
I saw a cartoon thing on Facebook somebody put on, and it was a couple holding hands, looking away from wherever they were. The point of view was they were walking away, holding hands. They're saying 2019 wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Ken, appreciate you being on the show this morning. I'm glad that we could do this remotely, man. It was a lot of fun. You got a final thoughts, final comments, final weather update for us?
Well, let's see. Like I said, if you liked yesterday, you're going to love today. It's going to be sunny skies all day long. Winds are going to be out of south-southeast, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. No chance of rain in the forecast. Enjoy today, because you know what? It's going to start raining after tonight. Just going to be kind of off and on rain for the next several days. High of 76 degrees today. So it's going to be nice to get out a little bit. I drove through San Gabriel Park yesterday. There's a lot of people walking around. So,
I got to make sure also that, you know, when I play, sometimes I'll play our weather update and things here, and it's not even accurate. So I'm going to play that when we sign off here, just to make sure. But and if it doesn't say that it's sunny, it's not accurate.
So, yeah, it's going to be partly cloudy, but mostly sunny. I'm looking out my window right now. I can see clouds. You know, it's probably more clouds, but it'll probably break off later on.
Well, Ken, I appreciate you, brother. Always good to have you on the show this morning, and we'll check back in with you. Hopefully we can keep doing this. I've got a good show lined up tomorrow as we'll have the Georgetown Beard Club joining us, and then on Friday we're going to hear from Derek Zwinterman of the Austin Disaster Relief Network and what they are doing in Travis County and surrounding areas to help out during this coronavirus. So we're already booked up. We're already starting to get some bookings next week. But, Ken, maybe you and I can continue to do this every Wednesday, man. Would love to have you.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
So, well, appreciate you, brother. Hope you have a blessed day, man. Thanks for being with us this morning.
All right. You're welcome, Rob. Have a good day.
And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the show. You know, that's how it started. It started with you and me at Gumbo's drinking a glass of wine.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So, well, Ken, appreciate you, brother. We love you, and I hope you have a blessed day, my friend.
All right. Have a good day. All right.
Ken Covington, our co-host here on Good Morning Georgetown. As always, just a joy to have Ken and to talk to him, and he always has such amazing energy, and I love hearing from Ken every morning. Friends, I love hearing from all of you. I want to thank all of you for joining us here today, and for all of those out there that are having to stay at home, just continue to take care of yourself, check on your neighbors, check on the elderly, and do what we can, and we're all going to get through this. Friends, we'll be back on tomorrow again. We will have Michael Price along with Rob Kitty from the Georgetown Beard Club. Excited to have those guys on the show. We'll start around 7 a.m. They'll be on around 8 o'clock. We'll talk to them for 30 to 45 minutes. So make sure that you're on the show tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll have Derek Zwinterman of the Austin Disaster Relief Network talking about what they are doing for COVID-19. Friends, as I end every single broadcast, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other, friends. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there today needs you. Good morning, Georgetown. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. We'll see you later.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
The nation's Surgeon General says as many as 250,000 people in the United States could die from the coronavirus, even if people are practicing social distancing measures, though Dr. Jerome Adams says it is possible to curb those staggering predictions.
Those projections are definitely sobering, but they don't have to be our reality. If we really do our part stay at home, social distance, then we can flatten our curve even below those projections. But it really depends on all of us.
He was speaking on NBC's Today Show. The head of the CDC says there could be a second wave of the virus later this year. Dr. Robert Redfield telling an NPR station this morning he expects the virus to peak in April or May, but then there could be a big second wave in the late fall or early winter. And you're listening to USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I think I've turned a corner in not having so much fatigue. That was my initial problem, was I was just tired all the time. So I think it's helping me with that. I think it's a whole lot better as a supplement than a lot of other products. Basically, you heal from the cellular level up. That's why nutrition is so important. Having whole foods is very important for health. I really think that it's been helping me overall.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code USA.
The captain of a Navy aircraft carrier is calling for help after over 100 sailors came down with coronavirus. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, currently near Guam, which doesn't have the space needed to quarantine that many people. The captain has written to senior commanders asking for help while all 5,000 sailors are being tested on a ship where social distancing simply isn't possible. California Congressman Republican Devin Nunes says it would be overkill, in his words, for his home state to cancel the rest of the school year because of the virus outbreak. He said last night on Fox News he's optimistic the U.S. can contain the spread of it and reopen the economy and the nation's schools within 2 to 4 weeks. Stocks are falling at the opening bell on Wall Street and in early trading now, as the Dow Jones Industrial Average has been down already by about 900 points. And the Nasdaq's 3.5% lower. And this is USA Radio News.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today, with daytime highs approaching 75. Southeasterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered showers tonight. Lows dip down to about 58. Cloudy skies expected. Cloudy skies expected again tomorrow. Chance for scattered storms. Highs level off around 72. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 51 degrees.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. This is Hip Radio Network, Georgetown, your hometown station.